Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. Please give us that 5-star review. Subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. Follow us on Facebook. BJ and Bill, the podcast. You want to email us your love letters, your hate letters? We don't care. We take them all. BJ and Bill, the podcast at gmail.com as we welcome you to episode 147.
Yes. No, we don't. Love letters, hate mail. We don't care. We don't care. We like hearing from people.
Yeah.
We like the love letters better, but
even though our box gets filled with junk mail, but
well,
we like to have, email now and again from real live people.
if you got a Gmail address, you're going to get junk mail. That's just the way there's no two ways about it. There's no getting around it. So sorry. Can't help you. Can't. At least all the scams and stuff that are going to that email box are going unanswered. So
yeah,
take that, scammers.
I'll tell you what I really get as far as, because I have emails for BJ and Bill, the podcast. I have an email for the Gift of Life podcast. And you probably have one for, the Practical Path podcast.
Yep.
I get at least 2 or 3 a week that they are some guru that can get us millions and thousands of listeners, and I'm like, I got a company for that. They're doing an all right job already. I don't need you.
Yeah. No, I do. I see, like you said, you see all of that stuff, and it's just, listener, or we can get you 1 million Instagram followers, or we can get it's like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't need it. Thank you.
I could do 1 million followers on my own. I don't need no more.
Boy, that would be nice if we had 1 million followers. We'd be making some serious change on that. Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see how those people do it. I just,
do what?
I've been playing with AI, trying to get a little bit more creative and a few more eyes on my site.
Right.
But I don't think I'll ever make any money.
I mean, if all you're doing, and believe me, this past weekend, I've been just studying all kinds of marketing stuff because I'm working this little business thing idea of mine that I'm working on. And it's like posting on social media now is just kind of, it's most of it is bots talking to bots. That's most of social media nowadays. It's robots talking to other robots. So, you throw something out there, it's like a drop in the ocean. I don't know. I'm a little bummed out over that whole situation, but there's other things you can do should you choose to.
I think really you need, and if I was better looking, I'd probably do it, but I think the video is the way to go and try to make creative videos.
Sure.
But people look at this face, they're not going to watch for a minute or 30 seconds. They're going to say, oh my God, I can't take looking at this old, ugly man anymore.
Not when that video of Sophie Cunningham is right next to yours.
Yeah.
BJ sends me this picture of Sophie and Cunningham over the weekend while I'm hanging out with my lady friend. And he's like, hope I'm not causing trouble. I'm like, well, not really.
I just like the little subtitle I put with it.
Yeah, it's coming for a karate chop or something like that. Yeah, well, she's as we know, she's a black belt, so yeah, she ain't taking nothing from nobody. So, and in fact, I even showed it to my lady friend. I said, because we're just two old men that are just looking at pretty young girls, and it's like, she's like, what would you? And she had the best line. She took one look and she said, what would you do if she actually said hello? I'm like, have a heart attack and die. So, other than that, I'd be fine. So great. Yeah. So anyway.
Speaking of Sophie and the rest of the fever.
Indiana fever, yes.
Caitlin is out again.
I saw that.
I got to think that the WNBA ratings are tanking the last few weeks with her being out and then got back for a couple games and then out again.
They're not tanking. They go down by half. It's more than tanking is 10 or 20%, 50% drop in rating. And I mean, if you're the, and I know we've ranted on this before. If you're the WNBA, you should be treating her like the second coming that she is. I mean, you should be treating her pretty well. And I mean, the NFL figured it out with like the Tom Brady rules and stuff like that, about going up, going against quarterbacks and beating up on quarterbacks. You just can't do it anymore because those are the stars and those are the people that bring the eyeballs, and eyeballs bring money. So maybe you want to protect that golden calf.
Well, I think that's why they got a karate major.
I think that's the Fever figured it out. The Indiana team figured it out. It's like, okay, if you're going to beat up on our star, we're going to beat the snot out of you.
But I don't know
not the best plan, but it's a good one.
I don't know where it's going to go, but it's hurting the league.
Yes.
And I watched another, I don't know what, maybe it's just, I don't want to be a sexist pig on this podcast, but maybe it's just women are more catty, because I was watching a game that wasn't even the Fever yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And again, they're like just being biatches to each other.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to be tough girls.
I think that's part of it, and I think there's a lot of, well, maybe you're right. Maybe it's I don't know, like you said, we don't want to be sexist, but yes, I do see that it's like they don't talk nice about each other. They don't treat each other. It doesn't seem like, I'm not a huge, like if the Fever and Caitlin Clark aren't on, I'm probably not watching. Now, I did watch a little of the New York Liberty game over the weekend. I think they were playing Vegas. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's just, I don't know. We're not sports guys. We'll have to wait for our friend Stephen A. Smith to weigh in on this one and see what he has to say.
But
he has a lot better insight.
I'm like, though, I am more hooked on the WNBA than you are at this point, because I watch other games too.
Right.
If it's on,
you're going to watch.
I'm going to watch it. Like you said last week, what do we call it? Whatever the football, summer football league is or whatever.
Yeah.
Neither one of us has spent probably more than 2 or 3 minutes at the max.
No.
Watching one of these games.
Summer football.
And I have watched entire games without Caitlin Clark or the Indiana Fever being one of the teams I watch, because I think it's a pretty decent product. But then I'm watching it again yesterday, and they're scrapping like little, I don't know, like little banshee hens or something, trying to peck each other's eyes out. And I go, why don't they just put a puck down and get some clubs and, turn it into a real hockey game? This is not the way basketball. This is not the way basketball is supposed to be played. I'm from Indiana.
Thank you. The Indiana native has spoken. Thank you. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think it's obviously an officiating problem. It's like, we need to just call it tighter. That's all. Just call it tighter. Some of these girls start fouling out in the first half. You're going to hear about it. The coaches are going to go, okay, back off.
Yeah.
All right.
But hey,
we've already all right. So BJ and Bill have figured out yet another world problem. And there you go. You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
Too bad we can't figure out some real world problem. I know we still got 3 more, probably 3.5 more years of this crap. But next time, people, let's vote for someone, let's just say under 50, maybe 55 at the max.
So we're not bringing in some grumpy old man? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I agree.
Let's get rid of the old farts. I know I'm an old fart myself, but you don't see me out there trying to run for president.
Good thing.
Let's just get rid of all the old farts. And
I couldn't agree more, but the problem is they're entrenched because one of the few things that Elon's, Doge program did shine a spotlight on. And for a moment we were outraged. And then it, like everything else, the problem is, you're outraged for today. And then tomorrow something else comes along in the news and it's like you've forgotten about that other thing. But how much money your elected officials on their $200,000 a year salary are making millions of dollars on all these government programs and speaking engagements and stock investments and all that. Is that right? No, it's not. Were we outraged? Yes. Is it over? Unfortunately, it's over. We're not outraged anymore about that. So
now we're on to the next outrage.
To the next outrage and the next and the next. That's, if you're a real conspiracy theorist, and sometimes I am, I admit it, that's how they keep us in line. That's how they keep us civilians from figuring it out, is that every week there's another something to be outraged. Not every week, every day there's another different something that takes our attention. So basically the entire population of the entire world is like a 6-year-old with a brand new iPad, just scrolling. Attention span of a goldfish. So
I loved one of these little, like I said, these guys that actually make money on the internet are the ones that put the little stupid videos together.
Yes.
But a guy was talking about, the elected officials. And when you look at the population of the United States and you look at the election,
yes,
it was only like 20, I forget what it was, but it was in the 20s. Of a percentage, like only 20% of the whole population of the United States actually went to the polls,
right,
and voted.
Yes,
which means at least over 70%.
Yes,
because I can't remember the exact figure. It ain't going to change. Might as well let the next idiot come in and be an idiot.
Honest to God, and I'm not proud to say this, but I will. In the interest of full and fair reporting, this last election, this last one just passed, I made the conscious, ugly decision to not vote. I didn't vote. I'm like, why bother? Give me something I can vote for, not something I can vote against. So, but you're right. You're totally right. That's an interesting question. What was hang on a second. I'm going to ask our friend, Mr. Google here. What was the voter turnout in 2024? Voter turnout in 2024 USA national election. Let's see if it just gives me a quick answer. Voter turnout 22 and 24. Okay, all right, fine. Yeah, yeah, but total turnout I want to know. Total. I don't want to know like who voted for who. Pew Research Center. I've heard of them. They kind of do a big deal. They do a thing. Well, it does say 2024. Now, according to this, it's a bigger number than you said, but it said 64% in 2024. So still, that means 2/3 of the people voted, 1/3 didn't. But so anyway, I don't know where you got your number. I don't know if I'm reading.
Like
the
I said,
right number.
it was a video that someone.
Yeah, I hear you.
And you know about.
If it's on YouTube, it must be true, right?
Right. But I kind of believed it because
yeah.
There's a core of Democrats, there's a core of Republicans.
Yep.
And they will vote every election, and they will only vote one way.
Yep.
Until I don't want to get into politics, but until a certain politician came along, I always went to the polls myself and voted for an independent. I never voted for like a party.
Okay,
where everybody always
you
said,
didn't always vote.
wasting.
You mean you didn't vote for the independent candidate, but you made up your mind at the time.
No. I always voted for. Usually, it was the Libertarian Party, but there was other times that I voted.
Yes,
for a different independent party.
Yes,
and I did that for years and years and years, and everybody always whined to me saying, "You're just wasting your vote." And I go, well, if the rest of the people wasted their vote, maybe we could get something done around here instead of, just this fist and this fist and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get something done in this world. But then this one knucklehead came along. I won't mention his name on this podcast, but then I had to vote for the Democrat for like 3 different times. And I would moan and groan the whole way to the polls. But I did it just because I thought this guy was an idiot. Now I've said it and I've went on record.
Let the hate mail begin.
But
I was,
always before that,
oh yeah.
I voted for the Libertarian Party 90% of the time from probably the time I was like 30 something.
Wow. Way, way, way before BJ and Bill, when yours truly was on the air in Phoenix, Arizona. Um, I was walking around. I don't know if I was doing it as a reporter or I was just walking around to do something to do on a weekend of like one of these voter registration kind of all the different parties were all like on this one little city street somewhere. It might have been like part of a street fair or something. I don't know. But Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians, and there was even like the Green Party, which I don't know what they even stand for. But anyway, that's a thing. And I remember I'm talking to the people at the Green Party booth, and I'm like talking and chatting and having a nice time, and they know oh, you're Bill Stevens from the radio. Yeah, I'm Bill Stevens from the radio, and we're just chatting, and I'm like, you guys are you even running a candidate for governor? And without breaking stride, the kid behind the counter looks up at me and goes, no, we're not. Would you like to run? I'm like, well, sure, but no, I kind of have a job. So,
Now, my brother, God bless his soul,
well, we love you, Mick.
he ran for, I don't know if it was town council or something like that, city council.
Uh-huh.
And he did that. And I think he had 2 terms, though.
Oh, cool.
But he will say that was the stupidest thing he ever did in
Right.
his entire life. Because you try to make, good choices
Yeah.
for your town,
Good luck.
but then half the people in the town are mad at you.
Of course.
Not good for business because people in a small town are
Right.
mad at you. And he goes on record by saying that was the dumbest thing that I ever did.
My ex-father-in-law, we love you, Paul, wherever you are, ran for and elected to city council of North Canton, Ohio, several times, and I think he was mayor once, or I think he just like filled in when the other mayor was like either retired or he was mayor for a short period of time. But yeah, but he was well known in the community. He'd lived there like your brother. I mean, lived in this smaller town all his life and knew everybody. And he was in the insurance business, so he knew everybody. He also, but he was such a nice guy that he kind of probably enjoyed it in a way that he could be a public service thing. But I never heard him rant and rave about, oh, what a great time I had being a city councilman. Yeah, so I get it. You're going to be hated by half the people. It's just, that's the way it is nowadays. Of course, your brother, my father-in-law were doing it way back before things got totally crazy out there.
Yeah,
so
where they actually, in a way, could maybe get something done.
Sure. So again, am I interested in public office? Absolutely, positively not. Absolutely, as crazy as things are nowadays, not a chance.
When I was younger,
I can't even imagine why people would want to do it now. I can't imagine why. What's the incentive?
Like you said, they're making money in the stock market. They're making money in public speaking,
but not local.
Yeah, that's true. Not local guys. But now my dad, and I don't know what this was because I was young in life. He was a precinct committeeman or something like that. And I don't know what that was, but it was something that must have been pretty big because my father would get invited to the conventions. My father would get invited. And actually, we left the farm for 4 years because, of course, that's how long the governor was in office.
Right.
But my dad left farming and went to manage a game preserve.
Game preserve.
He was in charge of the entire game preserve.
Oh, so this was like a political appointment?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And we got a house out of the deal. And it was just
more graft.
It was like, it was like an amazing, park. And I would, ride around on a little tractor and people were, having picnics and family reunions and stuff. And
how cool is that?
So, yeah. And it had a big old tower you could climb up because, they would put somebody up there to look for fires.
Fire tower. Yep.
it was the Jasper Pulaski County Game Preserve.
How
My
cool
father
is
was in
that?
charge for 4 years, and then somebody got unelected, and we went back to farming. We never sold the farm, and it was still going, and we
Right,
had people running it, but
right.
it was kind of dumb. We moved into this house for like not even 4 years, and then had to pack everything up and move back into the house that we came from.
Yeah, that's very cool. I game preserve. I always thought being like a park ranger would be cool. Of course, I'm sure it doesn't pay anything nowadays, but it seems like a cool gig.
Yeah, I have
So
no idea what this job paid. I
yeah,
have no idea of nothing, but I know one day I came home or what, I don't even know. I thought I was in school. I don't even think I was in school yet.
yeah.
Pretty sure I wasn't. And Dad said, "Oh, we're moving to the game reserve because, well, I'm taking over."
How cool is that? Good for
Yeah.
you. My father just would come home when we were kids and decide that we were not decide, having been told by his job that we were moving across country. Well, from Ohio to New Jersey to Houston, Texas to what my father, it was one of those. It was back in the, what is that, 60s and 70s, back before companies started to take into consideration family needs. Nope, we just need you in Philadelphia. You're moving. Pack up.
Well,
We'll see you there
luckily my
next week.
father, because as my dad got older,
Yep.
he cash rented the farm and he got into like fertilizer and elevators. And when I'm talking elevators, I'm not talking about the type of elevators that go up and then go down. And he asked
Grain
me what,
elevators. I know.
yeah, grain
Yeah.
elevators.
I
Yes.
know. And for you city folk, go look it up.
So he got into that and he was the manager of Farm Bureau Co-op. And he went to work, which I hate to say because a lot of people don't like it, but back in those days, nobody knew crap and they didn't know that they were bad people. He
Right.
was the manager of the local Monsanto that sold a lot of fertilizer and chemicals, that would kill weeds and stuff. And
Right.
we all know the rest of the story with Monsanto.
Right.
But he worked for them. He worked for Farm Bureau Co-op. So probably for the last 20 years of his working days, he was like an elevator fertilizer manager of an elevator. So
Cool.
that was,
Well, I mean, not cool, but something us city folk would know nothing about. There you go.
hey, something his son knew nothing about.
A little history there. A little history lesson of BJ Odom and family. Good for you. Yeah. No, my dad just worked in an office like most guys and, you know, had a, I mean, back in the day, had a real job where he would go to real places and occasionally the company would need him somewhere else and we'd pick up and move. And it took me, I'm not going to say years of therapy, but there was some therapy involved in figuring in not blaming my father for taking me out of the high school where I had my then best friend, first girlfriend, first ever a lot of stuff when I was a kid and we were living in New Jersey and we were going back to Ohio. And it was like, are you kidding me? And that took, like I said, that took a little bit of work. So I had
Yeah,
finally forgave him for all of that.
I think I caved because I don't know, but because it was only one county over.
Yep.
And by the time I was a junior, I had my driver's license. So I could go back, because it was only like, 30 minutes away, my old high school and my old stomping grounds.
Right.
But my dad did kind of the same thing. He moved from, one county to another county with Farm Bureau Co-op.
Right.
And so we had to, move to the big city of Rensselaer.
Ah,
If you know anything about Indiana, Rensselaer is not a big town. But we went from the itty bitty town of Madairyville, which was a farming town, which was maybe a population of 200. And it was mostly
right.
just, the town, Madairyville, maybe 200. Then, of course, the population around it was all farmers.
Right.
So, yeah. And I was, you were into school. And like you said, by the time you're a sophomore, junior, you get your first girlfriend. I had my first girlfriend, had to say goodbye to her and move on and try to get other chicks to like me. Hey, I was in high school.
He's still, by the way, folks, it's 60 years later. He's still working on that.
I had to go to a new high school, meet new kids.
Yes. Yes.
Now this is strange because, like I said, it was the next county over.
Right.
And so it wasn't like, like states over.
Right.
It was just the next county over.
Next county.
So you could kind of like go back to your roots and then go back to your new city and then go back to your roots. And so now, like even on Facebook, old friends from high school will message me.
Really?
And I'll go, dang, did I know them from Madairyville or did I know them from Rensselaer? I really do. Sometimes I have to think, like, where did I know them from?
Right.
And then they'll mention some other kids, and I'll go, oh, yeah, I knew them from Madairyville. Oh, yeah, I knew them from Rensselaer.
That blows me away. It really does that you can be in touch with people like that. And our friend Vicky Wagner, her husband Rick, went to a little itty bitty school. He went to school in Maine when he was a young man. And he is still in touch. I mean, in close touch, mostly Facebook, but some phone calls, some emails, everything with kids, with people that he went to 8th grade with. And he has one of those memories. Oh, you're shaking your face. You're shaking your head there.
I got him beat.
You really? That just blows my mind. What do you got? What do you got?
I went to a township school, 1st and 2nd grade.
Okay.
Cass Center School.
Okay.
It was a township school
out
in the country.
Of course.
1st grade, 2nd grade, same room.
Of course.
3rd grade, 4th grade, same room. 5th grade, 6th grade, same room.
Wow.
Well, we had 3 different rooms.
Right.
And then we
had 6 grades, 2 grades in each room.
Right.
Wow.
So it would be lunchtime. We would go to the little cafeteria. It wasn't even a cafeteria. It was like a kitchen.
Right.
And you would pick up your tray and you would take it back to your table in your classroom and eat in your classroom.
Oh, okay.
So there are still people from that school. And I only got to go there to 2nd grade because some idiot high school kid burned down the damn school. Then we had to go all the way into town, which was, like 7 miles to Madairyville. We had to go with the city kids.
City kids.
Damn country kids. We weren't no damn city kids at 200. We were like country kids. So we had to go with the city kids. But I still have, on Facebook, I have some people that were in my grade school, Cass Center, that still communicate with me through Facebook. Now, I don't call them. They don't call me.
Right. That's unreal. I mean, it really, to me, it is anyway. I'm sure plenty of people are shaking their heads going, no, Bill, I communicate with people. Not a one. Now, having said that, I have a good friend who is also in the media business. He's a TV producer. He's kind of behind the scenes, but he's a TV producer. And he lives and works in near Fort Worth, Texas, near Dallas, Fort Worth. He and I met late in high school, and we both went to Ohio University together. So that's as far back as I can go. Probably senior year of high school, and it's one person, literally one guy. And he does a pretty good job of keeping up with friends that we had in high school. And he will call me occasionally. And did you hear so-and-so passed? Or did you hear so-and-so? It's like, no, I don't, because I don't keep up with that. So shout out to you, Tim Warner, wherever you are. Well, I know where you are. You're working in Dallas this morning. So that's it. That one guy, high school. That's it.
Oh,
so,
I know lots of people from
hats off to you. Good for you. But never been my experience. It's crazy.
Now, I used to go see my best friend whenever I go back to Indiana
and
hang out with him for a day or two. But yeah, we might communicate on Facebook every now and again. Now, I have one more story, but we're going to do that after, because we're way past break time.
We're not way past break time, but it is break time. So go refill your coffee, do whatever you need to do. We will be right back. welcome back. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast, episode 147. If you're enjoying doing the listening part as much as we are enjoying doing the talking part, please stop by your favorite. That just came out. Please stop by your favorite podcast outlet wherever you get this show. Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio. Does not matter. Leave that 5-star review. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to join us on Facebook and tell us about your childhood friend memories, just do a search for BJ and Bill, the podcast on Facebook. You'll find our page. And like BJ said, our email inbox. Would love to hear something other than spam. BJ and Bill, the podcast @gmail.com. There you go. So you said you had one more thing about this friend thing. What's up with that?
And I would probably still be friend with them today if they were alive.
Right.
Unfortunately. But when I was in first grade, and I remember this like it was yesterday.
Okay.
You know, BJ, the sickly little boy.
Yep.
There was a girl in my first grade class, was not only my first kiss out in the school lot, you know, in the playground.
First grade?
Yeah, first grade. This guy was kissing.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, he was going for it, baby.
Making the moves.
Yeah. and we called ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend.
At first grade.
First grade. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
But she was like, and even the teachers would tell my mother, because, you know, it was like I said, first and second grade was in the same damn room. There was probably maybe 15 of us, maybe 20 at the very most.
Total,
yeah.
between the two grades.
Yeah, between the two grades. And so, but my mother, because I heard these stories as I got older, but even the teacher would say, she is just like the little mother hen. You know, she like just follows VJ around, takes care of VJ, protects VJ. It was like the most lovely story you would ever hear. Of course, you know,
Nice.
I changed schools. We grew up.
Right.
She moved to a bigger city up by Chicago, Michigan City. So that love affair was over by the time, you know, third or fourth grade rolled around. And I did reach out to her because I wanted to just check in with her one time. So I did Google searches. I found her brother. And then through her brother, I found on Facebook, I found out she unfortunately died like maybe a few years before I started to try and find her.
Oh, wow.
But it was like, she was like my little mother hen, man. She took care of me like no kid had probably ever taken care of kids.
Wow.
In school.
That's
and
awesome.
Even the teacher would tell me, oh, she's just like a little mother hen to him. She just like, you know, just takes such good care of him.
Good.
Kathy Mattis was her name.
What?
Kathy Mattis.
Kathy, we miss you, Kathy.
Yeah. So.
My first girlfriend didn't start until high school, like most normal people.
You're slow bloomer.
Huh?
Well, yeah, I had kids by the time I was in fourth. What do you?
I don't know what's normal anymore, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, that was. And I've tried to look her up, but the problem is she has a very common name, and so it's like, good luck, you're not finding it. And so yeah, it's just been a dead end, unfortunately. Besides, I don't, you know, again, who knows what's going on with any of that stuff.
Now I had another girlfriend, and I've, you know, seen her brother online, seen her sister online, and I've searched her as maybe one of their friends. Unless she's changed her name completely, I cannot find her now. I haven't reached out to one of her brothers and sisters because I didn't know them that well.
Right.
To say, you know, where is your sister?
Right.
So I just like let it go. But I often wonder whatever happened to her. And then another, you know, girlfriend that I had in junior high,
right,
has since passed. So I don't know. I'm not. If you dated me like in grade school or junior high, I feel sorry for you because you might be gone by now, or you're soon to be gone. Just giving you warning. Now, once I got to high school, I got to high school, those girls are still all around.
Yeah, well, you think?
Oh no, I know.
Oh, okay, okay.
I know of at least two that were really close to me. You know, I mean, you know, close girlfriends.
Right.
Still communicate a little bit on Facebook.
Cool.
But you know, they've moved on with their lives too. It's not like Like, hey, what are you doing? What are you
Yeah,
wearing?
no,
It's
that
none of
doesn't
that
happen.
stuff. No,
That doesn't
but no,
happen.
we communicate with each other now and again.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
we'll like each other's grandkids and,
Right.
probably both of us go, that could have been my grandkid.
Might be. Oh no, never mind. I get it. I mean, there's one girl, and again, I didn't get the early start that BJ Odom did, but there was one girl in college that we have stayed Facebook friends for. I mean, she rediscovered me probably just 10 years, 15 years ago or something like that. And, yeah, she's a grandma living in Ohio and whatever, whatever. It's like, okay, great. I get it. But, it's like, yeah, I don't spend a lot of time on that. What might have been
Now,
it's just wasted. To me, it's wasted brain cells. But I know a lot of people think about those things, but not me, not me.
now, I don't really hate. I kind of hate to go here, but I don't. I mean, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I just don't know if this is odd or not.
Odd or not. All right, this sounds
Yeah.
like a game show. Odd
Welcome.
or not.
So my ex-wife, obviously, father of my oldest child.
Of course. Our boss.
We are Facebook friends.
You and your ex-wife.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I maybe put a post out with the grandkids,
Right.
she likes.
Okay.
And she'll put she's maybe with with Gentry and the grandkids or something, and I'll like.
Okay.
So it's not like anything budding or anything online. But now when she was married to her second husband, which she's no longer married to because she has also left that man.
Try and feel better about yourself, BJ. Go ahead.
But when she was married to him,
Right.
Gentry was still a lot younger, so we would communicate every once in a while. And he hated me with a passion, I was told.
The other husband, you mean?
Yeah, the other husband.
Well, I mean,
now that's not
did
the
he ever
weird or
meet
not.
you?
No, he never. He met me. Yeah. I think he met me at he was at my brother's funeral,
Okay.
and he was probably at my father's funeral. I don't know if they were together when my father, but yeah, I've seen him. At weddings and things in public. Like my niece got married.
Right.
They were both at the wedding.
Right.
A little uncomfortable, but they were both at the wedding.
Hates your guts. Still, to this day. Still?
No. This is, I believe it or not, or weird or not. But now they're separate. They're no longer together. She's moved on to number
okay.
3.
Right.
Like Liz Taylor, she just keeps adding them.
Keep going through, guys.
But now, and I allow anybody to follow me or like me on Facebook.
Sure.
So now he's a Facebook friend. And I'll make posts, silly posts, funny posts of the grandkids all the time. Like he likes more of my posts than I think anybody that follows me.
That's hilarious. I mean,
yeah.
In a weird way. You do have some shared history there. You were both married to the same woman at different times, thankfully. But yes.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been funny if it worked out where we were both married to the same woman at the same time?
That would have been a little odd. Yeah,
that would have moved to Utah or something.
You see those movies. You see, that's a Hallmark movie, right? Isn't it?
I don't think that was a
No, that's not a Hallmark movie, but there are movies about that exact same thing. So anyway, I get it. Well, that's.
Of course, now all my nieces. Well, my nephew's not married yet. Maybe my nephew needs to get married, so I can go back to Indiana, and then he'll probably get invited because there's only so many people in the town, and if you want to get any presents at all, you have to invite everybody, or you're not going to get squat. So. Killing myself.
Killing
myself, Smalls. So, he might be there. And
he might. Maybe it's still in the same small town.
Yeah. So maybe we would, communicate and talk to each other. And, hey, how you doing? Yeah. We never shook hands before. We'd always look at each other with, a side eye like,
right.
Yeah. That's the other guy.
Yeah. There's the other man.
Now we're like, hey, How do you think she's doing? I don't know. She was some other dude now. I don't know.
That's crazy. That's not, I mean, honestly, it's probably pretty normal in life nowadays. Now, the following on Facebook thing, I don't know about that, but that's
And like, even when, before, well, he wasn't even a Facebook friend before until after
right,
they got, until they s- split ways.
right,
And now, like, even Susan and I is out doing something fun at Disney or whatever. And I'll post a, picture of, Susan and I.
right.
She's right. He's right there liking it. I'm thinking, I wonder if he's interested in her now.
Yeah, you do not want to go there because she's the only thing keeping you alive at this
Yeah.
point. So you don't want to go there. Yeah. I did see your Facebook post. Didn't you post something this weekend with you and the boss and
Yeah,
Susan and the boss?
yeah, he came up
Right.
and we went to SeaWorld day one
Mm-hmm.
because, my daughter is in love with the gentleman who was in the corporate
Right.
office.
Got
So,
connections.
so he's got connections.
Yep.
And so we all went together one night. I think it was Wednesday we went there. And then
Right.
Thursday they all went to Universal, the new one. There's 3 parks now at Universal.
Right.
And this old man learned something.
Uh-oh.
And maybe you people out there in Radio Land do not realize this. Some of you obviously do because you probably spent the money and went to this new amazing park, but they're not at the same location. And
What does
I
that
did
mean? You
not
mean
know
they're
that.
spread out around town?
Yeah, it's like a different. I mean, it's not far, but it's not like Disney. All the parks at Disney are pretty much connected.
Yes.
This one is like got to go down the road, a little ways.
So you couldn't park at one place and then go and see the other one. You'd actually have to get in the car and go to the other place?
Well, they have a shuttle.
Oh, okay.
But they're not all like on one compound, I guess you would.
Well, back
Like
in
a
the day,
college
Dis-
is like a college is like one campus,
right.
It's like having a campus and then another campus, like,
Yeah.
Maybe
Sure.
4, I don't know how many blocks away they are, but because when we left my son, his Airbnb, because they were staying in an Airbnb,
Right.
he went one direction and I went the other direction. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go by Universal. So where's he going?
Right.
But he was going to the new park, the other park.
Interesting. So did you go to any of these new parks? Do you have any
No, I didn't
review
go.
for
I
us?
didn't go.
Oh, okay.
No. And then I just found out because the other day, my daughter and her boyfriend went to like one of the regular, the first 2 Universal parks.
Right.
I think it was Islands of Adventure, Universal Islands of Adventure.
Right.
Because I guess you got a second day at a second park if you wanted to use the ticket.
Ah, that's Islands of Adventure is their water park, right?
I don't know which one. No, they've got rides and stuff there. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
But yeah, they went there yesterday, but my son, had already left. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't they go 2 days in a row? Because they had tickets and could have. But he was only in town for like 3 days.
Okay.
He's a busy guy.
You went to SeaWorld.
Right.
How are they doing? Is it crowded still? Is it because I mean we're in the meat of summer season now. Is it like crowded as always, or are you seeing like
I don't know how to put it. I mean, let's just say this. I've been there and it's been busier.
right?
And we were there during the week. I mean, we were there on a Wednesday, and that's probably
Okay.
the lightest day to go. And we've been there on the weekend. I mean, I've seen it busier, but I would say they're average for SeaWorld.
Okay. Okay.
SeaWorld has never been that, even though they're trying to be more of a ride park and less of an animal park.
Right.
I think it's pretty much stayed. I don't know. Business is down a little bit, but I think, the new Universal and Disney's opening a bunch of, I think it's, it's just a very competitive town. And of course, obviously you can only go to
Right.
so many parks a day.
Well, of course, depending on who you listen to and who you watch on YouTube, whatever their political persuasion is and whether they love Disney or hate Disney, you can see those videos where like, I went to Disney World and it was empty. There's nobody here. And I'm like, I don't think so. but that's why I asked, just to
I,
think, just to see
I
if you
think
saw
if
any
you're at
difference.
Disney, we've lived up here, what, like 4 years now?
Right,
Season tickets all 4 years we've been here.
right,
We go quite a bit. If it's empty, there was just a hurricane or there was COVID and they just started opening again after
right,
COVID.
right,
And, I will say right after COVID, you could go to Disney and get on the rides pretty daggone quick.
right.
That's not the case no more.
No, I didn't think so. I really didn't. I mean, Disney is Disney. I'm not going to say it's like bulletproof or anything like that. Of course, it's subject to anything else, but I mean, your season ticket holders, if I walked up to the gate now on a Saturday, if Bill Stevens walks up to the gate by himself on a Saturday and wants to go into Disney World or Epcot Center, what am I going to pay?
Well over $100, probably
Wow.
140, 150.
$150 on a weekend for one ticket, one,
Oh,
and
wait,
then
wait,
I
wait,
get to
wait.
wait in line
Bill,
with all the
Bill,
rest
Bill,
of the
Bill,
What's
Bill,
that?
I forgot to tell you,
Uh-oh.
you'll need to park.
Oh, yes.
Now, do you want to park up close, which is called VIP parking? Or do
VIP
you want
parking.
or do you want preferred parking, which is a little closer, but not as close as VIP parking? Or do you just want regular parking?
The civilians.
$30, 35, maybe. I may have went up. I don't know.
Does that at least get me VIP? 35
No,
bucks?
no. That's going to be like 50 or $60 to park in VIP.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait. I'm not done with you yet, though.
I know you're not. Keep talking.
Because I'm going to upsell you. Because it is busy. And Bill Stevens is a busy man.
I am.
And the last thing Bill Stevens wants to do is go to Disney and have to stand in line
With the rest of
for an
the
hour.
civilians. You're
for
right.
an hour, maybe
You're
an
right.
hour and a half for a damn ride. His time is too valuable. So he wants the quick, the fast pass.
The fast pass. Absolutely. I want
Add
the fast
another
pass.
$125 to that.
How much?
125.
Over and above the ticket price.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I figured that. I just wanted to clarify that. So I'm $1.50 into the ticket. I'm $1.25 into fast pass. I'm 35 or 50 bucks into parking. I'm already at about $4 for the day, and I haven't had popcorn one.
And that's going to cost you about $7.
I haven't had soda
because you're
one.
gonna buy the bucket where if you ever come back again, you can fill the bucket with popcorn, which costs what, 25 cents for a bucket of popcorn?
Right.
You can take that bucket back and buy popcorn for $1.99. Any other time, if you're like a pass holder, you'll want to buy the bucket so you can go back and just get popcorn for $1.99 instead of like $7.99.
So some places like I used to go to a movie theater in Sarasota, and it was like, we'll bring you this nice little, and it was one of those sit down theaters where they serve dinner and the whole thing. Gorgeous, by the way. I forget the name of it, but in Sarasota. And the popcorn was like $8 or $9. They would bring you this nice, beautiful little bowl and everything, but free refills.
Oh, they're not free at Disney.
They're not free at Disney. So even if you spend the huge money for the bucket of popcorn, it's still going to be another $1.99 to refill it.
And the bucket,
I got to carry the bucket around with me all day.
Yeah, because it's like shaped like Mickey or
of course
Minnie,
it is
or some other cool Disney thing.
Great. So all right, so I'm $4 into the day here. No food, no drink, no popcorn, no souvenirs. Good God, go with your wife.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Don't.
Don't. Let's just say,
Yes,
all you got to do is have one bucket to get refills when you go.
of course.
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho.
Keep talking.
I'm not going to keep talking, but just imagine how many buckets, different figures or whatever, are in this house.
Oh, really?
I will leave it there.
Really? I hadn't thought of that.
We could probably go every day for a month with a different bucket and fill it up.
Maybe you should like post the collection or something on Facebook so we can... Someday, some archaeologist will be unearthing BJ Odom's old house and go, why, look at all of these animals on popcorn bucket. Well, they won't know what popcorn buckets are, but they'll.
This house, this office is somewhat, and there's a little Disney, but not much. But you go in any other room, there's
Yeah.
more Disney than at Disney.
So is it possible? And I already know the answer to this,
I think
but I
we
want
can
to throw it
charge
out.
people to come in here and like Disney Junior, like this is little Disneyland. Here you can walk through and look at all the Disney decorations.
Like I said, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to riff on it a bit. Is it possible for you and spouse to go to Disney and not come home with some new gift shop item?
Yes.
Really? Good.
Not very often.
Not very
but
often.
there are times.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we're just going to, Epcot for a quick concert.
Right.
And we'll go to the concert. Of course, I'm the one that says, let's just wait till we leave and go through the Taco Bell drive up or something instead of going to Mexico and buying the $20 taco they have. But, yeah.
Yeah. And of course,
Usually,
you have the most expensive Disney product ever made, the car.
Oh, yeah.
You got the car with Disney on it.
Oh, and yet it was the only way I could talk her into getting an electric car.
It was the only way he was talking her into the Hyundai electric car.
The only time in my life I ever said, honey, look, it's Disney.
And it worked. It worked.
Because, I know this because she knows I'm a tightwad. And she knew it. She goes, I'll just say, well, if you get this one, I'll go with the electric car. I knew her little trick. I said, well, let me call her bluff. Okay, let's put the money down on it right now.
So you each tricked the other one into sort of kind of getting what the other one wanted. She wanted the Disney thing. You wanted the electric car. You both got what you. So it's a win-win. That's good.
Now, I will admit, and because we don't do a lot of traveling.
Right.
Since we have bought the car and the wife did not really want an electric car.
Right.
She has come to me and told me that she's glad that we have an electric car. Because because we have we can charge it home. We plug it in our own garage.
Yes.
And she says, I love that I have never once, in almost a year now, August the 8th, it'll be one full year.
Right.
She goes, in the last year, not once have I had to go to a gas station, get out, pump gas, and get back in my car. To her, that is I don't know if it's because she's a woman. I never minded to pull over at a gas station, fill it up and, take, but she says that is like, she loves that.
Right. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Well, like you said, it might be a woman thing. I don't know. There might be safety concerns if it were at night or something like that. There might be. I get that. But yeah, I never thought when I got my car that I have now, my little Tucson SUV, which has a backup camera. And it was the first time I ever had a backup camera. And I'm like, a backup camera? Who cares? I don't get it. What is up with that? And now that I've had it for several years, of course, they're all standard equipment now. But you're like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's fabulous. So once you have experienced not having to go to a gas station, now you're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I never have to go to a gas station again. Awesome.
Now, the only thing we have not done yet, because we went to Jacksonville.
Right.
Got all the way to Jacksonville. Didn't have to worry about charging up till, we got there and was ready to come home.
Right.
Went all the way to Fort Myers.
Right.
Same thing there. Go all the way to Tampa and back. We go all the way to Tampa and back and don't even worry about it.
Right.
We usually charge in Fort Myers and we charged in Jacksonville.
Right.
But we've never had to stop on the road and charge.
Right.
So I don't know because I still want to take that. We talked about this last week about a summer trip or a fall trip or whenever a trip, to the mountains or something.
Yes.
And so there'll be like probably three, but we are at the age anyway that every 150, 200 miles, which what we'll get, with the car,
Right.
we stop. We like
You're
to
going to stop
stretch our
anyway.
legs. We like
Right.
to grab a bite to eat or a snack.
Right.
And we can do all that. And when we're done doing the stretch, the snack, and we're ready to get back on our car, it'll be ready to go again because
Yeah.
it's the Ionic 5 with charging less than,
20 minutes.
20 minutes from 20 to.
I had one friend, same car as yours. She was driving from Fort Myers to Amelia Island, to Jacksonville up there, Fernandina Beach. So, and she had to stop. And was coming right through here up I-75. I said, perfect. Get off at Archer Road in Gainesville, charging station right there in front of the Target. You're on your way. So that's the one time I know somebody actually had to stop en route. Because, you could probably make it Fort Myers I don't know if you could make it Fort Myers, Jacksonville on one charge. You might. You might not.
Depends on your driving, too.
Yeah. Depends on the driving, and you got the air conditioning blasting and whatever. So, yeah. So I get it. And now the new Hyundais that all will take the Tesla chargers, that opens up a whole new world for you and all that. Well, we've been through this, but yeah, it's still not right exactly for me, but I can see where it would be. Maybe not maybe not my next car, but the car after that. Of course, I'll be an old man living in a nursing home somewhere, and I won't drive that much anyway. So what the heck?
I shouldn't be driving now. Pretty
You shouldn't be driving.
Let me have the keys there, old man. But it's cool because I can, it's one of those. It's not as good as the Tesla as far as self-driving, but it'll take the curve. It'll. Like we had Susan's brother in. And he had never ridden in an electric car nor my car.
Uh-huh.
So, and our road that leads out of our neighborhood is somewhat curvy.
Right.
I go, watch this. I take my hands and
behind
my back, and we're going through these curves, and they're like, oh, ha, oh, ha, ha, oh. And my wife's even going, I go, okay.
Okay. All right.
But if you do have your hands off the wheel for more than like 2 minutes or whatever,
right,
it starts dinging and say,
yeah, it beeps.
Because it did. They got to that point where it's dinging. They go, oh, what's that? I go, oh, it wants me to still hold the wheel.
Yeah.
Even though it'll do it all for me.
I actually saw a video on Twitter, of course, on X. Elon owns X. There's a factory in Texas. Somebody bought a brand new Tesla, literally just down the road from the factory in Texas, in Austin area, wherever the heck it is, I don't know, and was like 30 miles away from the factory. The car delivered itself. They programmed the buyer's address into the Tesla. It drove off the lot, and it drove to the guy's house. I'm like, what?
My son rented one weekend.
Yeah.
And he it stops at, like, my Ionic 5 does not stop at stop signs.
Mm-hmm.
It does not stop at red lights.
Right.
If I have my, my GPS on and it says to stop at this stoplight and then turn left,
right.
Correct. It won't do it.
Oh, okay.
But the Tesla stopped at the stoplight, turned left when the green light came on. And I'm just like going, oh my God.
Full self-driving mode, they call that. Yes. And you pay extra for it.
But it still does that. It still dings if you have your hand off the wheel for more than a minute or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
now they might not. Now the new ones may not, but the one he drove, if he had his hands off the wheel for any length of time, it told him to put them back on.
So there might, and I don't know my Teslas that well, but I do see the videos on YouTube where the kid will, I just took delivery of my new Tesla Model Y or whatever, and it's like full hands off. It just, he's reading a book or he's, on his phone scrolling, whatever. Car drives him wherever he wants to go.
Now, I pay very close attention. Don't get me wrong. But let's say we're going to Tampa. A lot of times on I-4, it's stop and go. Stop and go.
Yes.
I have it on not 70 degrees,
70
70
mile
miles
an
an hour on cruise control.
Yep.
And we get behind a car and I can pretty much take a drink, scroll my phone,
Right.
and it goes when the car goes, stops when the car stop. It does all that. So that's kind of a cool. And also because it regenerates energy when you stop and go.
Yes.
So everybody says, well, what's going to happen if you get in a traffic jam and you're in stop and go traffic for like an hour? Your battery's going to run down. No, the battery's going to be stronger than when I hit the stop and go traffic.
I don't know. I don't think it can generate more energy than it uses. That would be awesome. But I understand what you're saying. Before we go, I'm going to send you, when we get off the recording, I'm going to send you a YouTube video I just found of why I-4 in Central Florida is the worst highway in America.
Oh, I would believe it. I do not. That's the only thing I do not like about going to Tampa. There's been times, but I haven't done it yet.
Right.
And if people know the roads at all, you got to kind of know the roads though. But Claremont is probably, by mile wise, it takes about 20 minutes, but probably, 6-7 miles up north.
Right.
And then I can get on 50, then 50 over to 75. And then because I've actually thought instead of going to I-4,
right,
to go up to 50 and across, but that's a lot slower going and things like that. But it's not because but on 27 and 50, 27 and 4, it's like a racetrack. You can be going 5 mile an hour over the speed limit and you would still think you are going like 35 mile an hour because people
are zooming past you. Yes.
They're zooming in front of you and then over to the next lane, then over the next lane. And it's like, oh my, no wonder so many people die.
Yes. Yes. Well, all right. So drive safe out there, folks. Drive safe. We're going to, unless you got something to rant about. We've done our,
I'm just going to drive off into the sunset in my electric car.
No one will hear you leave. Electric car.
Everybody follow me on Facebook because I'm putting some great comics up lately.
You are. He's been playing with artificial intelligence and taking old pictures and turning them into cartoons and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. I got to give you credit on that. It's a good job. So
it's amazing. I'll see like a joke on Facebook. Somebody will post. I'll go, oh, I could do this. Right. I can make this and I could have them talk. The only thing I haven't been able to figure out yet is how to turn them into because I like to maybe if that'd even be cooler, turn them into 10 or 15 second videos,
right? Like
cartoons,
right?
But it doesn't seem to want to do that. But maybe I don't know the right wording yet, so I have to play with that more.
On X, I have been watching. There's a couple of different series going on, and one of them is Bigfoot going fishing, Bigfoot having a beer, Bigfoot. It's like really, and he talks. But, like you said, they're really short, little compact videos. So, yeah, it's amazing what is coming. So
that's how I'll grow my Facebook page.
That's good. There you go. You'll be at 1 million followers pretty soon. And then
Facebook will pay me like $12 to pay me like $2 or $3 a month.
Hey, why not? Go for it. All right, BJ. All right. Have a great week, sir. We'll talk to you next week. All right, everybody. No matter what you do, no matter where you drive, no matter where you're going, do it safely out there because we love you and we want to talk to you again next week. But up till then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya.
Flip the dial, take a ride back in time when the airways were golden and the DJs shine. 2 mics, 2 guys, and a whole lot of laughs. Living like legends, bringing stories back.